Welcome back, everybody, to this week's weekly update. Good to see you, Daryl. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Weather was nice, so got out and enjoyed some outdoor activities. Friday night, we have friends of ours who lived in Vancouver for a long time, had moved back to Ontario, and now are back in Vancouver. So did a little backyard dinner with them and got caught up with them and their kids, which was really nice. And Saturday, similar, we went to some friends' place out in the North Shore and just did a little bit of backyard socializing with them and some of their friends. So good weekend all around. How about yourself?
Nice. Cool. Yeah, we got outside, enjoyed the weather. I got outside to do weekly update filming this week. And we also worked on our front garden, which was fun because neither of us are gardeners. So my wife was pretty inspired to tear apart the garden. And then when it came to actually figuring out what goes into the garden, hadn't really thought that far in advance. So right now we have a torn up garden with 0 plants inside of it and a big pile of dirt sitting in front of it. So I guess that's
blank canvas.
Yeah. So next week, I guess we'll have to work on putting that back together.
Nice.
Yeah. So with that, I guess we have some subscriber giveaways to talk about this week.
Yes. So as always, every week for anybody who subscribes to our YouTube channel, you are entered into a draw for a $50 gift card for Amazon. So again, without further ado, I will pull a name here. This week's winner is Lauren Mitchell.
Oh, cool.
Congratulations, Lauren.
Congrats, Lauren.
Yeah, we'll get a hold of you and make sure we get you your $50 Amazon gift card.
Cool. So this week for our guest, we have Terry Johal. So Terry works with Equinix. Equinix had some big news this week or this past week with acquisition of the Bell Q9 data centers. So we'll talk about that. And Equinix has a great partnership with F5. So we'll be talking about them for the next couple weeks here. We'll cut to that now. All right, everybody. This week we've got on Terry Johal, and Terry's from Equinix. Terry, do you want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Daryl. Thanks, Boo. Nice to see you guys, and thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
My name is Terry Johal. I'm based in Vancouver, BC. Been with Equinix for about 3 years now. I cover the British Columbia territory and Saskatchewan as well, and helping customers with their cloud connectivity.
We'll get into the F5 partnership with Equinix a little bit later, but it's awesome to be able to work with you. We've worked with you for a number of years at this point. So I know customers love seeing you, and it's always great that we can have this great partnership as well. So everybody that comes through as a guest gets to go through our Q&A just to get to know you. So we'll go through that. First question, Terry, what was your first computer?
Ooh, I had a Windows 98 all-in-one type of Dell desktop. It was
really?
The first ones I've gotten back in the day when I graduated from high school.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Cool. And can you tell us about your first job?
My first job, I worked in the lumber mills, so the green chain.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
With the green chain.
Yeah. Yes. The forestry economy here in BC are best lumber mills, and did that for quite a few summers. Learned a lot about physical activity, and then saw all the sales guys out there coming in with their nice suits and cars. And I said, okay, no more piling lumber. I'm going to become a sales guy.
So you must have been in pretty good shape then when you were working at the mills.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
So who or what inspired you to get into your career then?
I was kind of funny. So that same lumber experience after I graduated from BCIT, I had my resume on monster.ca at that time. And a recruiter saw my resume and said, hey, you've got a lot of lumber experience. And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for a sales job in the lumber manufacturing. And he's like, I've got a lumber software opportunity for you. And I thought he said softwood, and I was like, until I got into the interview, right? So then I, quickly researched the company and found out, they provide an end-to-end ERP system for lumber manufacturers, and that's how I got into software sales and into the industry, and never looked back.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
I think I remember that company just dealing with a few of the local lumber companies here in BC. That the name is escaping me now, but I remember it coming up.
Progressive Solutions.
Progressive Solutions, yes. I do remember that one.
Lumbertrack was the name of the solution.
Yeah.
Yes, and then they got bought out by Epicor. So
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Very cool. Well, you've probably seen some cool spots in British Columbia. Can you name your favorite spot in BC?
I always go down to the Okanagan to Kelowna. That's one of my favorite spots to take the kids out in the lake there and enjoy the sunshine. It's a beautiful spot for us.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. And can you name something that you're doing to stay sane during quarantine?
To stay sane during quarantine, lots of fun things. We play Monopoly quite a bit with my kids and my family. We've been cooking a lot more together. I've been becoming a good cook. I never used to cook before. I used to always just skip the dishes, right? So we've been cooking together and staying sane that way, playing games, riding bikes, going for walks around the neighborhood, just staying close to the family. We've gotten a lot tighter over this time, so it's been good as a family to spend some quality time together and less travel and working from home, doing the little things together.
Yep.
Yeah. What is one thing that you've bought in the recent months that's made a big impact on your life?
Well, the acquisition that we learned about this week has been huge for my life. Being with Equinix for 3 years, and we just recently announced the intent to buy the Bell assets and Q9 assets in Canada and 25 data center assets. So that's going to be a big thing that's going to be happening for us in my life here in Western Canada. So, it's big for the public sector accounts that, want to hit the Azure compute and can't go across the border down to Seattle because of data sovereignty, issues. So, getting that compute on a data sovereign path from BC to Toronto is going to be huge with those data centers. String up something between all of them.
Super exciting.
Yeah, totally. Most guests mentioned something that was under $500, so you went $1 billion, and that's all right.
You didn't realize you paid for that yourself, Terry. That's great.
Yeah. Or maybe I misinterpreted the question.
That one works. Don't worry.
Okay.
What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is coming to a win-win solution. So I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but I like to help my customers solve their problems and help get them the right solutions to solve those problems and win-win together. That, the customer wins, my company wins, and everybody wins together. So that's what my definition of success is.
And do you have a couple podcasts or books that you're reading right now or listening to right now?
Book I'm reading right now is called Atomic Habits by Janca.
Okay.
It's been a pretty cool book. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts here and there, just what's going on in the world. That book's been really helping me change the Atomic Habits book. It's been pretty solid, and just getting into it. And another book is called The Team of Teams, working with team members and different groups to get to a conclusion on helping solve issues for customers. So it's groups of teams like vendors like yourself, F5 and Equinix working together as a team to help solve customers' issues.
Great.
Yeah, really cool. What's the next big vacation that you're planning?
I haven't thought that far in advance, but I always love Hawaii, Maui, but I don't know if they'll even allow anybody from the mainland out to there. We're doing some local trips. We're going to go down to Kelowna, do some camping, as long as I can get on the website. It keeps crashing for some reason. But
Cool, very cool. So we've gotten through our Q&A here. So maybe, Terry, I know a lot of people in Vancouver do know you already and know Equinix, but maybe you can spend a minute or two talking about Equinix and what you guys have been up to lately.
Yes, sounds good. So Equinix just announced yesterday, I guess, or this week, about the Bell asset acquisitions, which is huge for Canada. But Equinix is a global company with over 220 data centers globally.
Wow.
And we help customers with with network optimization. So looking at the network, looking at the current spend on the network, looking for the best carrier connectivity for organizations that want to connect to clouds and the on-ramps to clouds. And that's how we help customers. We suggest a digital edge. A digital edge is just a performance hub within Equinix. And that is, a one rack environment right next to the clouds, carriers, and all the ecosystems of the customer's environments. So you can connect using any telco provider, and there's over 1,700 different telcos connected to Equinix data centers. All the major cloud providers are in Equinix data centers. So we're just finding that interconnection for organizations that have a footprint from on-prem right next to the clouds, and that's called their digital edge, and connecting to the on-ramps from there. That's an area that we help a lot of customers with. And with F5, you guys are a vendor that is a participant on the Equinix Cloud Exchange that customers can connect with today. I know there's a lot of opportunities for customers with the F5 and Equinix that are out there that we can help get that adjacent story and help that digital edge and that transformation for them.
It totally makes sense, especially right now and with those acquisitions that you've made now. When we talk to customers and we hear about them going to cloud, and one of the first things that we ask them is if they've talked to Equinix and how they're architecting their on-ramp to the cloud. So really key player to be involved with right now.
Just came up in a customer conversation today, as a matter of fact. So
June 23rd, we're having a virtual executive briefing with our C-level executives at Equinix. It's an online session where we're inviting all Canadian customers to come out, or all customers that are interested in learning more about the acquisitions that happened in Canada recently, and how some of the digital transformation stories that are happening. So my email address, if you're interested in attending, just send me a note. It's T for Terry, Johal, Johal @equinix.com. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Terry. So we'll put, if you have an invite link for that as well, we'll put that into the show notes. We'll also put your email into the show notes as well. Next week, we'll also have your counterpart, Josh, on as well. And then following that, we'll have a live stream with Josh. We'll talk through some of those cloud architectures. So I'm really looking forward to that. Thanks for coming on, Terry. You have a great week. All right. So this week for announcements, I've got a live stream happening on Thursday with Tanya Janca. Tanya is from She Hacks Purple, and a lot of folks in the security scene will know who Tanya is. She's a regular speaker at the B-Sides events. She used to work for Microsoft and used to work for the Canadian federal government as well, and has relocated to Victoria, actually. So it'll be really interesting to talk to her. I know she has her own big fan base that will love to hear about her, the things that she's been up to. And then otherwise, I just wanted to remind everybody that there is the content available in podcast form. So there's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify Podcasts. So for everybody who is wanting to listen to us, I know a lot of folks are starting to head back into the office. So probably more people in the car now that want to tune in, but have a lot of time in the car that they can listen to us. So you'll be able to download us on any of those.
Right.
And I should mention as well, I have the week 6 of the guitar lessons that I will link as well. So hopefully everybody's playing along with that. But we are heading into the final weeks. Bob has a couple songs that he is going to take us through. All of the stuff in the last few weeks has built up to the next couple weeks here. So a couple songs for everybody to practice, and we'll kind of end it off with those.
Nice.
So otherwise, we will head into the F5 updates from here, and we will see everybody next week. Bye for now.
Bye, folks.
Alrighty. Going to do some F5 updates outside again this week. So this week, as far as live streams, because there is the F5 Agility Labs that are happening, I have one live stream planned, and that's with Tanya Janca from She Hacks Purple. She's really interesting. I think she'll have a lot to say around application security and DevSecOps. So I'm really looking forward to having her on. I'm actually over by the Pitt Meadows Airport. I don't know if you can see that behind me here, but there's nice trails here along the Fraser River. So I thought I'd take a walk along here for your updates. There's been a number of updates for the F5 automation tools. So AS3, Declarative Onboarding, Telemetry Streaming, those have all had updates this week, so you want to check those out. There's also been updates to fast templates. Now, for those of you who I haven't mentioned this to before, IAP templates will eventually be deprecated. They've served their purpose, but fast templates is going to be the way going forward. They're all based on AS3 And this is a lot more friendly for CI/CD pipeline and DevOps, so you want to check those out. The BIG-IP image generator has been updated. This is a tool that you would be using if you're standing up BIG-IPs in an automated way in your environment or in public cloud environment, so you want to check that out. All of the cloud solutions templates have been updated as well. So there is updates to the AWS CloudFormation templates, there's updates to the Azure ARM templates, and there's updated Google GDM templates as well to check out. One of my colleagues, again Jeff Giroux, has updated a repo on deploying secure enclave with BIG-IP inside of Azure and having connectivity into the Azure Sentinel service as well. So this is a great starter for people who are building out that secure cloud architecture. You'll want to check that out. Another one of my colleagues, Preston Ashworth, has created an awesome YouTube video on the new BIG-IQ 7.1 features. Again, BIG-IQ 7.1 was recently released. A lot of great features that are going to allow people that have existing BIG-IP deployments with lots of configurations on them to deploy BIG-IQ without having to restart on a bunch of their applications, so that's worth checking out. I've also included a link on the 25 fastest growing SaaS companies based on their traffic. This one's interesting to see as far as what people have been adopting as far as applications right now, worth checking out. There's a new feature coming out in Chrome. It's in their beta right now. This is for managing tabs. For everybody who likes to keep like 100 tabs open inside of Chrome, you're gonna be able to group them and label them, so that's gonna be helpful for those folks. There was a recent critical flaw inside of vCloud Director, and that was demonstrated in a video. I've included a link to that, but I'm sure everybody who's on vCloud Director has been notified of that and are looking at patching that or has patched that already. If not, check out that link. Another article I've included is on a survey that was taken and how 41% of organizations are not expanding their secure remote access and they're allowing their employees to use personal machines. It goes over some of the concerns around that and how people are addressing them, so that's worth checking out. And that's all the F5 updates that I have for you this week. For those of you who are attending the labs for virtual agility, I will see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you on the live stream this week, and otherwise, we will see you next week. Bye for now.